almost open.
Oh, Alex G, I have to take a deep breath. This is a big moment.
Oh, yes, it is.
31 million plus.
That's right, 32 million, but who's counting?
Now, you and I, a lot of people don't know this, but you and I grew up together on the South Side.
That's right.
Middle school classmates. Is there any world at all that you dreamed that you and I would be sitting here, me interviewing you, you opening this grand facility? Did you see it coming?
I did not see it coming. No, it's a pleasant surprise, but it's a surprise nonetheless.
Tell me about the vision in terms of what you saw and what you're seeing now as we've hit the grand opening.
Sure. This community, Madison in general, but South Madison specifically, gave so much to my mom, who came here going through ending a bad marriage and wanting something better for her two children. I don't think she ever dreamed that 50 years later her children would be designing something that would make Madison better. She knew Madison would make us better, but I'm not sure she knew that we would make it better. I noticed a lot of people in our community who leave for greener pastures. You left Madison, for college and then afterwards, but not many come back. And as I listen to people and ask, why are you leaving and why aren't you coming back? And they talk about the lack of places to celebrate culture and to feel completely themselves and to express themselves. And so I started conducting surveys, asking questions of the community members, and over 800 of them were part of my study, and they said, we want a place to belong and to celebrate and to bring our culture to the table. We want this to really feel like home. And that was really the fuel to want to create this Center for Black Excellence in Culture.
Yeah, I want to talk about that name because I think a lot is in the name.
Oh, a whole bunch.
And
I know where you're going.
And I know you don't. Do you?
I do.
Really?
I can read minds.
You and I spent a lot of time at the Southside Madison Neighborhood Center.
That's right, and we called it the Center.
We call it the Center. The word center is in the name.
That's right.
Is that purposeful?
Oh, it's definitely purposeful. I wanted lifelong Madisonians to know that I didn't forget that. It's now part of the Boys and Girls Club, but back in the day when we were on the South Side, it was called the Center. We say, hey, Merv, you going to the Center after school? Yeah, going to play basketball?
That's the place to be.
You can get summer jobs there, but grandmas were there, kids were there, young, old, and it was a microcosm of the broader community. And I wanted people who were from Madison to know that I didn't forget that space that was occupied through the South Madison Neighborhood Center. So I shortened the Center for Black Excellence in Culture to the Center. I just had this conversation with our friend Tim. He's like, hey, you called that the Center. Was that because? And I said, that's why I said, Merv, I know what you're gonna say. So yep, I did it exactly because of that, because it's a throwback to a time when we really felt a sense of belonging, a sense of pride, and this really felt like home to us. We lived like this was home.
Yeah, I love that. Mm-hmm. Now, as I think about everything you've done to get to this point, clearly the heavy lifting is, seeing it, raising the funds for it. But I'd imagine sustaining it is going to be a heavy lift. How can Wisconsinites support what you're doing here, even if they don't live here in the Madison area?
Sure. Well, first of all, let me say this place tells the story of Black First from around the state. So, I'm expecting to see the mayor of La Crosse here with a bus full of folks. Elected officials are coming from Milwaukee, here in Madison, because this tells the story of Black greatness and excellence in the state of Wisconsin. So we don't want people to do us a favor. We want us to understand this is our story. And this helps Wisconsin live into its state motto of being forward. And so they can, the easiest thing is go to our website and to click that red button that says please donate. But the other thing is get on our mailing list. So when we have lectures and comedians and plays and dances, come. So if you really want to support it, come and take advantage of it, hold an event here. But we want Madison and Wisconsin to be great for everyone. And so I felt that if we built a space where the Black community could be its best, then we could give our best at work. But it's hard to demand that of us when we're the first and only every day. And then when we want to go out and play, we're still the first and the only. When we're looking for jazz clubs or bookstores or coffee houses or things that you find easily in places where you've lived and I've vacationed. But I just said we're smart enough, we're strong enough here to do this in Madison. I will also add that the fundraising was not the hardest part of this. No. Galvanizing the community, because that takes, you can raise $32 million if you get 2 or 3 of the right people. Now, we didn't have that benefit, we have close to 1,300 donors. So
Nice.
we had to ask a lot of people for smaller amounts. But once you have a vision,
And that tells you that the community's bought in, right?
that they're bought in. But I started with asking the black community, what do we want? What will move the needle? Everyone's talking about us around the country, race to equity, health disparities, economic disparities, academic disparities. What do we want people to know about us, and what do we want to know about ourselves? What do we want to study? And they started telling me, and I built that into that. So when we did our first fundraising effort, my first 300 donors were from the black community. And we have black donors from around the state. When the broader community saw that, 7-figure gifts started coming in.
Wow.
Kim Sponham started from Summit with $2 million, AmFam with 2.5, Ascendium with 2.5. When they saw that the black community was behind this, and this wasn't some demagogue's vision, this was not a part of my church or part of Nehemiah, this was something that was brand new, fundraising. Now it took a while because it was, COVID was going on, but the resources started coming in. But the 10, 20 years of being an academic advisor at the university, a recruiter at the university, a pastor for the last 40 years, and listening to people's stories, it took decades to build the credibility that I would do with the money what I said I was going to do with the money, and that people would show up if I would ask them to come. That was the hard part, because that took decades. Raising the 32 million only took 3.5 years.
I wonder what do you think they saw that made them jump on board with those kinds of numbers?
Black people. They saw us coming together and wanting to be masters of our own destiny. That we weren't coming together saying, fix us, give us something, share something with us. We came together as retired state employees, lawyers, doctors, educators, professors, teachers, and said, this is what's working around the country. This is what we want to do. We don't want you to design it for us. It doesn't need to be remedial. It doesn't need to be a human service. We want a place where we can have plays and think tanks and lectures and bid whist games and plays and comics, and we don't want to have to dumb down. We want our children to meet viable mentors who want to pour into other children. We want to create a community like we had at Lincoln 40 years ago. Whether you lived in Bramhill or Bayview or Southside, we were Southsiders. We knew how to band together. We've lost that over the years, and I want this space to bring that back. And we might not have had a lot of money or a lot of degrees, but we were healthier than we are right now. And so I'm really into community development. And my goal is to make sure that black people live more fulfilled lives, which will play itself out in physical and emotional health. That's my real desire. But I believe that play and culture and being around each other can help that to happen.
Yeah, with all the things you've got, Alex, the library, the stage, a sound studio, and the list goes on and on.
It does.
Is this? Can you experience all the value of this space in one sitting? Is it?
No, it's sort of like Disney World. You got to come back for 2 or 3 days. But we're here for the long haul. We want people. We want grandparents to come in here and say, "You got a library? I can bring my grandbabies here." We want that to happen. We want moms to be here for programs, mom and dads to be here for programs, and realize you have purposely opened your library in the evening so that when we come to programs, our children can go and work on literacy and storytelling and listening and communication. So yeah, it'll take you more than one visit to get the fullness of it. And I want to add that this is rooted in the celebration of black culture, but anyone's invited, because as black people, we're generous and we like to share, particularly stuff that's our culture. Taste our soul food, do this dance, come see our movie. Have you seen Sinners? We love it when non-black folks partake in our culture. And because that's our heart and that's our soul. And when you respect that, not just consume it and not invest in it, but when you celebrate it, it means something to us. And we've created a cultural ecosystem where black culture isn't just consumed, but we're asking the broader community to invest in it so that podcasters and t-shirt makers and playwrights can learn to make money on their side hustle, because that money can make the difference between their child going to college or not.
And culture is for everybody, right?
It's for everyone has culture.
Right.
Everyone has culture, and everyone's had the ability to keep their culture. Ours was stripped, and we weren't allowed to have it, but we held to it. 100 years ago, Merv, during the Northern Migration, It was black art that kept us alive when we moved away from sharecropping farms. That was the rise of the Harlem Renaissance and black playwrights and novelists and poets and singers and dancers. Art was how we survived the Spanish flu. It's how we survived Southern racism and Northern racism. It was music and our song that kept our souls intact. And then something happened and everyone just said, you need more human services. You need more programs. You need more pity. But our art and our story and our culture has kept us for a half millennium in this country. So why not try it? So I just pulled a page out of the history playbook. Said we're going to use history and culture to take us into the new millennium.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention your mom in this. I see you've proudly got her picture on this wall back here, and I have to go back to something a little personal for you and I. I remember when you broke ground on this, I sent you a message, and I said, and you had lost your mom by then.
Yes.
And I sent you a message saying, I know you wanted your mom, to be here to see this, and I said that, but she knows. How do you feel? What do you think she's thinking as she's looking down on all this that you've accomplished with what you're doing?
My mom was a seer. I believe what she would say is, I knew it. This is why I pushed you so hard. This is why I told you I believe in you. She would not be surprised at all. When I was a kid, my mom told me that she thought I would always write the great American novel. So I thought, oh no, I'm slacking. I'm getting a C in English. And my mama thinks I'm going to be the great
she was
American
thinking
novelist.
about me when she said
she
that.
must have been thinking about you. Well, we have the same birthday, so she might have been getting us mixed up. We must have gotten mixed up. But she would be so pleased, not only that I'm doing it, Merv, but that I'm doing it in Madison. Because again, this community helped to bring my mother out of deep, deep depression. She got 2 degrees from Wisconsin, and she didn't go to high school. And so she modeled brilliance, but she also modeled blooming where you're planted. I know that things would have been probably easier economically, probably even academically, if I had moved after high school to go to Hampton or Morehouse
or Southern University.
But to stay here and to bloom where you're planted took grit and commitment and conviction. And she would be very pleased that I didn't leave the place that gave so much to our family, and that I'm going deep here. That would mean so much to her.
Yeah. Last question. This is clearly your baby. Many babies with all the different things you've got going on. What part of this baby is your favorite baby?
Oh, you're not supposed to have favorites, but my favorite is that private lounge upstairs, Club Afrique.
Yeah.
And, this is really Pan-African in its nature, so it looks at celebrating the culture of Afro-Latinos, folks from Africa, the Caribbean, North America. But that's the place where we want to bring our various associations together and entertain our dignitaries when they're visiting the United States from Africa or the Caribbean. But that's my place because we're going to play grown folks music.
Yeah.
Up there, and it could be a sports bar one night, it could be HBCU night the other, it could be Pan-African night, it can be waffles and fried chicken another night. And then there are times or spaces where we can bring our colleagues and allies who are not black to celebrate our culture and to see black excellence with us. I'm looking forward to people saying, that's what you mean when you talk about black excellence. I want to say, yep.
Alex C., we appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really happy. Thanks for having me here.